and I have to say, I would be so excited to see my favorite former bachelorette back on the beaches of
Tell
paradise,
me.
but my girl Tayshia Adams is getting serious with someone else in the reality TV world. So I know, Kayla, you're a huge Bravo fan. Tayshia has a
Mhm.
new boyfriend. His name is Luke Gulbranson. He is a Bravo celebrity. He was on a couple seasons of Summer House and Winter House. He's not on any shows currently, but Tayshia and Luke have been spotted out a lot together recently, both on dates, at Tiffany's, looking at rings, which has, really sounded off alarm bells in both Bachelor Nation and the Bravo sphere. And according to Us Weekly, they are mad about each other and serious about their future. Now, I've heard that they're going to Italy together for Andy Dorfman's wedding coming up this summer as well. Um, Thoughts on this reality TV crossover and their potential budding romance?
Yeah, this reality TV couple was not on my bingo card whatsoever. I wouldn't have seen this coming, which is what I love about it when like two of your favorites from completely different worlds come together. It's just the best of both worlds, not to quote Hannah Montana. But I am very excited about it. And like, can we see? I know Luke isn't on Summer House anymore, but like, I don't know, like if Tayshia was on a Winter House or a Summer House, I would be living. So I kind of
Yeah.
like the idea, the two world reality TV worlds. The fact that they're already looking at rings is kind of like, whoa. I mean, they haven't even done like a hard launch on social media. You know, we had the Easter fiasco with Lindsay Hubbard posting a picture of them holding hands, but that's like the most we've gotten other than like TMZ pictures. So it'll be interesting to see at what point will she want to share this? Or, I mean, is the hard launch going to be on the wedding day? You know, like I'm kind of interested to see what their game plan is kind of to the public because we're all talking about it.
Yeah, so a couple different things here, and this is all hearsay. But first, I did see a blind item that there could potentially be a new show with Luke and Tasha and others, revolving around a lake house because, Luke is our
Oh,
Minnesota man. He's, always out in the wilderness tapping those maple trees, but he's not on Summer House anymore. So I have heard those rumors that there could potentially be this possible spinoff with Tayshia involved. I've also heard that Luke and Tayshia both bonded over their religion. Tayshia grew up Catholic. Luke
mhm.
is very much so Christian. So that was a bonding thing for them. I talked to Andrea Denver on my podcast this week, and he raves about both of them. So I do really enjoy this couple, and like you, Kayla, I was not expecting it, but I can see it, and I'm
Mhm.
hoping that Tayshia is gonna be the one to make Luke settle down, because 'cause that's been the red flag a little bit in the past, right, with
True.
Luke, is that you don't necessarily trust that he's ready to settle down, get married, but I mean, if you grab a girl like Tayshia Adams, I feel like you're gonna wanna settle down with her.
She is top tier. She is the queen
Yeah,
of Bachelorette. Like, I loved her season so much. I'm still like crying a little bit inside for her and Zach. I'll never get over it. But I
yeah.
am so happy for her to be moving on. And I hope this lake house rumor is true. I mean, I'm assuming, with Winter House, Summer House, it'll be kind of a similar vibe. And we saw that spinoff, like Summer House Martha's Vineyard, is doing really well.
Mhm.
I absolutely love that show, by the way.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it would be a slam dunk for Bravo to do something like that, and to bring Tayshia in would just be iconic.
Yes, I agree. So fingers crossed, let's manifest that out into the universe. And let's just go down this rabbit hole that could be a potential Bravo spinoff where you have a bachelorette crossover. I mean, I can't really think of another time where someone on the Bachelor franchise has ended up being on Bravo or a Netflix show. And in the Bravo sphere and on Netflix, it happens a lot, right? Like you get on one
Mhm.
main show, you have a couple seasons, and then you branch off into other things. It keeps the Bravo celebrity happy, right? But then you get to Bachelor Nation, and what have we heard a lot from contestants on that side of things? That they use you for a season and then they're done with you and they don't care, what you
Yeah.
do or where you go or anything like that. What's your take on that? And do you think that the Bachelor franchise is dropping the ball, not having other spinoffs besides Bachelor in Paradise?
Absolutely. I mean, you've seen the Bravo universe right now. Vanderpump Rules is like exploding, getting like, there are core groups of like Bachelor friends that they could make some type of reality show following their life. And I actually was watching the Vile Files a couple weeks ago, and Nick Viall said that Ashley and Jared actually had something in the works, and Jade and Tanner were in it. Nick Viall had a role, and they were like, apparently they just got didn't like wasn't patient enough and signed with someone else, and it kind of just died there. But I mean, I think that could have been so good, and especially with kind of the newer generation of Bachelor doing something like that, whether it's a summer house where they all are in a house or just following their lives individually or as couples. I think would be a slam dunk and needs
Mhm.
to happen. I really, Bachelor is changing, and Bachelor in Paradise probably gets most of the attention right now, so it kind of growing from that, I think, is just a natural progression that needs to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, when you really think about it, like the reason that Vanderpump Rules is, number one right now is because it is organic, it's authentic relationships, and the audience
Mhm.
knows them. In Bachelor World, it's like that takes nothing. I mean, think about if they would have had a real world or Vanderpump Rules type show after Katie Thurston's season of The Bachelorette, where she breaks up with Blake, is best friends with John Hersey, then starts dating him. Could you imagine? People would be glued to their
Old.
TVs. And it's interesting too that Tayshia kind of is the first rumor that we're hearing of maybe her doing something with Bravo, but she very much so distanced herself from the Bachelor franchise on purpose, right? Especially after she got off the podcast and all the other things. So it
Mhm.
feels like a very pointed decision. And I agree with you, Kayla. I think they're missing out on a huge opportunity. And by the looks of things, they're late to the party on pretty much everything. It's taken 5 years to get the Golden Bachelor. And it's like, when are we actually getting it, So who knows? Bravo remains number one in my book. And if the Bachelor franchise doesn't keep up, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I hope more things like this happen with, like, Tayshia. She's off contract, has been for a while, and as others, like, they kinda explore different opportunities, even if that is different networks, if The Bachelor isn't gonna have a platform for that. I know we saw Winter Games a while back, it's kind of a faint memory now, but it just lasted 1 season, but you got to see, groups of people that you wouldn't before. Ashley and Ben have that real friendship. I mean, they have a podcast now, and seeing the different friendships and seeing how they evolve. And I think there was a competition aspect of it, but I think they could do something similar to not Winter House, Winter Games. And I think that it would do really well.
Yeah, I mean, write it down. I mean, especially because they're going through a writer strike. So ABC might need some extra content, some unscripted content. So maybe we will see it after all. TBD on that one.